What's up? You guys getting ready for the 4th of July? Right around when Game 5 is going to take place. It's been 2 nights in between games here, and now we finally have Game 3 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers, who have a 2-0 lead in the series. You've been watching all the feedback over the last couple of days. You've been listening to the podcast, clicking on all those YouTube clips. I got to tell you something, and I will get into the hockey picks soon enough. There are only so many games left in the NHL season. It wouldn't be the worst idea to kind of talk about it in length a little more and milk what we have left, because who knows? Maybe there are only 2 games left. Probably not, but you never know. I mean, usually you think they want to keep these series going. By the way, all those people who go, oh, every sport's rigged, it's all about the ratings and the money, and, you know, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift win the Super Bowl, but then why are the Mavericks down 0-3 in the series? Why? They're just going to lose handily to the Celtics, and the ratings aren't going to be maximized. Nobody's going to be watching. Why? Oh, because then we got to keep them honest. Every once in a while, there's got to be that Broncos Super Bowl. Okay, you always have one more answer. You're honestly, guys who think all this is rigged, you're literally the male version of horoscope chicks. That's who you are. If you think all this is rigged, you're the male version of a horoscope chick. And if you want to know what I think about them, go back a bunch of podcasts. I talk about that quite in detail. Just like I want to talk about this Stanley Cup final in detail prior to this game here, because I know over the last couple of days, you watched your TSN clips, you've been listening to your Spittin' Chicklets, you've been watching all sorts of shows, consuming all sorts of stuff, because you do have this 3 days essentially in between. But I would advise you, don't let your head get too filled up with information, because I just think the product of the way things are now, everybody gets so entrenched with what just happened. Like if this was trick-or-treating, you got a Reese's at the last house, and now you think everyone's giving you Reese's. It doesn't work like that. I don't know why, but everybody only points to the last game as if that's what the entire series has been. What are the new narratives? Oh my God, Edmonton can't do a damn thing out there. 1 goal in 2 games? What was the narrative before game 2? Oh my God, Bobrovsky stalled. Edmonton, really? I think Florida may have met their match. Yeah, they won in that game, but did you see how Edmonton got all those shots? You got to have that NFL approach that I kind of give you guys throughout the course of the season when I say everything you just believe you saw on Sunday, Control-Alt-Delete, it's got. None of it means anything. Yes, the Niners just won by 5 touchdowns at home against the best team in the league. They're going to go on the road and probably lose to the double backup in Cleveland. It's the same kind of thing with these finals. Now we're supposed to believe that Edmonton can't get a single scoring chance. Meanwhile, game 1, we were talking about how they were getting a bunch of chances, 3 breakaways, and it was Bobrovsky. And now what the narrative is Bobrovsky's guaranteed Conn Smythe winner. Outside of this game 1, what the hell has Bobrovsky had to do the entire time? Tell me the tough saves he had to make in game 2. Tell me the tough saves he had to make in game 6 against the Rangers. Tell me all the tough saves he had to make in game 5 versus the Rangers. Tell me all. Florida is walking this team. How many great chances do they face? So he had a great game 1. Absolutely. What the hell did he have to do last game? He let in one of the softest goals you'll ever see, and then Florida completely shut down Edmonton and dominated the game. So I don't think you should just be out here saying, oh my God, I mean, this is just a Florida guarantee. I think Edmonton at home is going to have many more chances than you saw in the last game for a couple of reasons. Number 1, we don't have a definitive answer on Barkov's status, but in all likelihood, he's playing. He practiced, I believe it was a full practice, and he'll be out there. But don't discount the fact that when a team is at home, you essentially can't match up your best defensive unit, at least for the forwards, on that line. So McDavid, he's going to get a chance to get away from Barkov consistently like you saw in that Rangers series when the games were at Madison Square Garden. They couldn't get the exact matchups they wanted, and that's when you would see like Panarin's shots on goal totals go over and whatnot because they couldn't match up as precisely as they wanted to do. There will be increased opportunity for the Connor McDavid lineup. He's been nothing short of great the entire playoffs. And I guess the question is going to be, what's it going to be like at home? Now, I believe Edmonton's not going to go down 3-0 in this series. I think they're going to handily lose this series. But even last year, when Vegas destroyed Florida in the finals, 1 game 1, 1 game 2, Florida got game 3. I mean, if this is going to be a series whatsoever, they have to kind of get their best shot. And I think that this game 3, Edmonton's going to be able to score a couple goals, and it's got to come through McDavid. When you look at this lineup and you see how injured Kane is, Henrique does nothing. You know about my Janmark bets. They're going to try to roll in Corey Perry. Nugent Hopkins is doing everything he can to tank the top line. It has to come through McDavid, and it has to come through the power play. And I think in this game 3, you're going to have a couple of Edmonton goals. I'm going to go with that Connor McDavid over 1.5 points. Interestingly enough, before the last game, I urged everybody, take McDavid most points in the series. And you would think that, oh my God, he didn't get the lead, and now we get... His odds increased after the last game because the only guys who are really ahead of him are, I mean, he gained a point on Barkov, and now he's chasing Lundell and Evan Rodriguez. So a couple points for McDavid in this game, and he'll probably have the most points in the series. But I like the over 1.5 for Connor McDavid, and if he's getting a couple points, obviously I associate Evan Bouchard with any sort of points that McDavid gets. Just like last game, Bouchard and McDavid got an assist on the lone goal from Ekholm, but I think on the power play, they're going to be able to score because I don't know how, if you want to consider this an additional factor, but Florida, they decided to travel the day before. So they already were going later than most people would have anticipated. Then their flight got delayed because of the weather in Florida. So they didn't get in till late the night before the game. They don't even have 24 hours. So maybe they potentially start a little slow. They've been slow starters for most of the playoffs. They've even admitted themselves they get better as the game goes on. So I think Edmonton's going to be able to score a couple goals, which means Connor McDavid's going to have to find himself on the score sheet because I'm not trusting guys on the bottom half of that lineup. So the over 1.5 points for Connor McDavid and the point for Evan Bouchard. On the other side, I teased this in the I Hate Baseball video, and it was Sam Reinhart. Before Barkov left that last game, so this has nothing to do with him leaving the game, they flip-flopped Verhaeghe and Evan Rodriguez. So you have Evan Rodriguez, and this was confirmed in practice on Wednesday. Rodriguez practiced with Barkov and Reinhart. So that's going to be the top line. And then they put Verhaeghe with Bennett and Tkachuk. That's going to be the second line. As I mentioned in the video, they moved Reinhart's shots on goal total down from 3.5, which it's been all playoffs long, to 2.5. And then they removed Verhaeghe from his line. So if you're showing me 2.5 shots on goal for Reinhart, who only has that 1 assist in the series, and you know he's a goal scorer, I feel like he's going to be shooting this game. So give me the over 2.5 for him. And once again, for the third straight game, I don't mind it. I mean, he's got 3 shots and 3 goals, and that's going to be the over 1.5 shots on goal for Evan Rodriguez. And it is very hard to fade Evan Rodriguez in a game where clearly he's shooting with confidence. He has 3 goals in the series. He's playing with Barkov and Reinhart, and his point prop is at like plus 140 or plus 150 still. This is a very, very, very hard fade. And I think if you want to do something like go with a Reinhart point and a Rodriguez point, with the Rodriguez over 1.5 shots on goal. Does this sound familiar? Yes, because the Bennett and Rodriguez combo came through a game after it didn't come through. And then we had to wave goodbye to it immediately because they broke up that line combination. But we'll salute them for coming through for us game 2. We'll see what they do for us here in game 3. Another bet that I like, not necessarily, you can do the goals for I like the over 2.5 goals for the Edmonton Oilers, but I also like the over 2.5 goals against for Sergei Bobrovsky. I think he's going to have to face some chances in this game. And I'm not overly scared. I mean, the Rangers tagged him for 6 in a game. It's not like they had that much trouble scoring on him. It's just that the Panthers are so incredible defensively in front of him. But in this game 3, like I said, I think it's going to mimic that game 3 from last year's series. So the over 2.5 goals allowed for Sergei Bobrovsky. And then one last same game parlay for you Pirates out there. You know, I always go to Fanduel, which happens to have the best price on the McDavid 2 points and the Bouchard point. So if you throw those two in a same game parlay, I always look for the discrepancies in the shot total. If you give me an extra shot, I'm going to take the under on it because I think that 60 minutes is kind of priceless. I love the fact that you could win on that once the game goes to overtime. Matthew Tkachuk, he's listed at 2.5 on all the other sports books. I saw him at 3.5 on FanDuel. So if you take that under 3.5, put it with those 2-point props, that's going to give you a nice fat plus money parlay. And you want to know if you want, I don't know if you want to call it a deep sniff. Tie after regulation. This one might be going to overtime. Just maybe. Maybe this one's of the higher scoring variety. You saw that with a couple of late goals, an empty netter get to 5. Is this one going to top 5.5? I wouldn't be surprised. I have the Oilers for 3. I guess theoretically, if I have the Oilers for 3 and it goes to overtime, are we looking at a 4-3 final? That's crazy. 7 goals the way this series is going. But if it's going to happen, it's going to be in Edmonton. Because the funny thing is, the Panthers can go chase a high scoring game. Remember when Tampa went up on them? They went up on them in Tampa by a couple of goals. They came back, won that game. It was a high-scoring game. So that is in Florida's, bag of tools. Would not be surprised if that happens at all. And one last thing that I wanted to mention, just to keep tabs on it, after that last game, I saw McDavid, Conn, Smythe plus 600. Remember, if you're going to hedge your Florida bets, it's completely unnecessary to do it with the Oilers to win the series. McDavid, Conn, Smythe, I think it's down to plus 550. That's the way that you want to do it. One last question, maybe for you folk. I can put this dilemma out there. Maybe you guys can help me solve it. So before the series, if I have any bonus bets on any of the sites, I throw it for outside dark horse bets. And I know I've shared this on the Patreon. I put it on my Twitter. I have a couple of small sniffs out there. For Evan Rodriguez, most goals in the series. Evan Rodriguez, most points in the series. Like literally $15 for 7,500. And Anton Lundell, most points in the series. And I have like potential thousands in winnings. What would you guys do? So you have those tickets. Am I just betting against the both of them to record points every night? Because if they screw me, they're not screwing me because they're obviously amassing to their point total, and then they can take home those massive amounts. So what is the proper way to guarantee some winnings after this hot start? The hot start for Lundell, he has 2 points, and he's 1 point off the lead. But how would you try to nurse those bets for most points or most goals in the series? Keep taking the over on McDavid? I already have all the McDavid most points in the series, so that's already taken care of. I don't know. So that's the dilemma. You guys let me know if there's a clever way to hedge any of that or guarantee some winnings with that. All right, I will be back with you guys before Game 4. There will be a video. When is it? So this video is Thursday. It's Saturday. Yeah, so I'll probably get it out either Friday night or it'll drop Saturday morning. Definitely check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel here. Click the likes, comment, let me know how to hedge that bet. And obviously, it would be very much appreciated if you guys join that Patreon. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. I know hockey's coming to an end. We obviously have Josh's picks 7 days a week on there. And also, I truly appreciate it because I stress thinking about what's going to happen in the summer, and then I got to remind everyone once hockey starts. So I'm doing everything I can to give you guys as much as I can on there. I understand if you want to wait to hockey, but would really appreciate it if you join me over there. If not, though, no worries. I'll see you before Game 4. Take it easy and good luck.